Paxful has decided to shut down temporarily. According to Ray Youssef, the founder and co-founder and CEO of Paxful, they're going to temporarily suspend the marketplace. You are able to still claim your funds from the marketplace, but they've decided to wind things down due to a lack of key staff members and regulatory uncertainty. This follows, of course, other exchanges closing over the prior year in the wake of FTX and the continued pressure on peer-to-peer Bitcoin exchanges. Notably, local Bitcoins also shut down within the last 12 months. Christy, I feel like this is a story that really we should get some comments from you on. It does seem like it's harder and harder to run an exchange in a peer-to-peer manner that a lot of people would like to buy their Bitcoins at.
Yeah, I'm really sad about this, honestly, because I think that Paxful has been doing some very interesting stuff since. I mean, this is kind of an OG sort of exchange that's been going on. It's peer-to-peer, it's Bitcoin, and they've been instrumental in encouraging Bitcoin adoption in Latin America and Africa, really going after the market of people who really need Bitcoin and access to Bitcoin. So one of the things that Ray Youssef, the CEO, has said in his post is that the issues have been linked to the marketplace, but also they've had some issues within the company, losing some key figures, and it's just been hard for them to keep going. So that's the deal with them. They are going to be allowing withdrawals. They are trying to go about it responsibly, from as far as I can tell. Last week, they announced that they were going to be refunding customers of their Paxful Earn program who lost funds in Celsius, because the funds that were tied up of theirs in Celsius were considered by the courts to be part of the bankruptcy materials, so they couldn't access their funds. So Paxful decided they would just refund the customers themselves. So yeah, I think it's kind of a sad day for Bitcoin peer-to-peer marketplaces. What are your thoughts, David?
Well, in a brief aside, I just have to say it is wild that Paxful was channeling funds into Celsius, but we will not kick somebody while they're down, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this plus, and I apologize for the sirens, this plus the local Bitcoin shutdown is really dispiriting. I mean, there should be no restrictions on this kind of trading in Bitcoin specifically. I mean, I think it's fairly clearly established that it's a commodity and these are not futures exchanges. So it seems inscrutable to me that they're running into legal issues. And Will, you might have an answer for this, but as was mentioned, this was a marketplace that was trying to grow adoption outside of the US. So why was there not an effort to just maybe geofence the service or even move operations to a more friendly jurisdiction? Does anybody have insight on that?
Yeah, I can answer some of those thoughts, but I think we also just need more key information. And Ray Youssef in his note did say that he's not able to speak fully on what is actually occurring here at this moment. So we could be waiting a little bit. And in the meantime, I guess we can guess or speculate based on what we've seen with past enforcement actions in the SEC, the CFTC, and other regulators here in the States are certainly cracking down on many different exchanges. We talked yesterday about Japan cracking down on some exchanges as well. And this is really just being a global thing at this point, where most exchanges are getting slapped on the wrist, if not shut down entirely. For a peer-to-peer exchange like Paxful or similar concepts, the bar is even higher, right? Because there's not really a central entity in this whole organization besides the software that is connecting peers on it. So for those who don't really know what a peer-to-peer exchange is or haven't used one before, it's basically a software program that connects people in two different areas together who want to buy and sell Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency. And you're able to do that because the software matches you with another person. A lot of centralized exchanges, they have the ability to coordinate and KYC users. Something like Paxful, I believe there was KYC in this instance, but for the most part, it was pretty loose, and it was just like, again, peer-to-peer trading. A lot of regulators don't like these things, and that's why they've gone after them. And also, I think it's worth pointing out that a lot of these peer-to-peer exchanges have poor liquidity versus other crypto exchanges. And as we see centralized exchanges rise, we're going to see more of these peer-to-peer marketplaces be driven out because all the money just runs towards the more liquid marketplaces. For Paxful especially, like there was times where the price of Bitcoin in Paxful was far off of other exchanges. And that's not something you want as an exchange. I think it does show you some like adoption metrics in certain countries where people are willing to bid up the price of Bitcoin or dump the price of Bitcoin down. But for the most part, it really hurts your ability to garner new users. So I think that's one key element that can't be lost in here. And to the regulatory standpoint, I think we're going to have to wait for like the geofencing questions, stuff like that. But Christy, I'll throw it back to you for one final thought.
Well, one thing I want to do for sure is plug the fact that CoinDesk is following this story, and there will probably be more developments and more information coming in the next, probably maybe even the next few hours. So keep an eye open for that. And yeah, I think, David, you had one more thought that I think you wanted to add.
Just very quickly, because we need to go on to the next story, but I guess I'll actually transition myself to that. Just to be clear, and Will, tell me if I'm wrong, but was Paxful Bitcoin only?
No, they had a few different assets. They actually took a lot of heat recently because they did delist Ethereum and some other tokens like that. But there were stable coins, there's Bitcoin, and there might have been a few others.
So just to put a flag up, like there is a difference between what's going on with Coinbase and apparently maybe the Paxful action was based on them trading other assets, but Bitcoin only trading, to my understanding, should still be regulatorily safe. So I hope that's not what got shut down here.